Hey everyone, my name is Mac and welcome to Let's Talk Gaming, and today let's talk about why the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be a massive game. But really quickly, before we get into the video, if you guys go on to enjoy, if you could leave a like and also subscribe if you are new, that'd be absolutely amazing. Like seriously, it really helps me out. And yeah, alright, let's talk about Zelda. As we all know, Breath of the Wild was a massive game when it came to story, combat, loot, and literally anything you could possibly list. Breath of the Wild did an amazing job at that thing. With it also being on the Switch, that was a massive thing as well. It not only showed what the Switch could do, but it also showed what the series of Zelda could possibly do. Breath of the Wild was an open world game that allowed you to do pretty much anything you could think of, whether that was running at the final boss the moment you start the game, spending 80 hours on a single playthrough, or just enjoying the massive world and its in-depth detail. This was a huge step for the series. We've never seen a Zelda that really allowed you to go off on your own and truly choose your own adventure. Breath of the Wild was a massive game for gaming at the time as well. Switch was just released, and Breath of the Wild got an amazing rating across the board. IGN gave it a 10 out of 10, Metacritic gave it 97, and pretty much every other outlet followed suit on that rating. But now let's talk about why the sequel is going to be even bigger in my mind. For me and for a lot of people, a huge standout point when it comes to the next Zelda is that it seems pretty dark. The teaser that they gave us while announcing its development was a pretty dark trailer. We are introduced into seeing this odd writing floating through the air, which you believe to be some form of magic. We also see hieroglyphs and drawings on the wall, and then we end up seeing Link and Zelda exploring this cave below Hyrule Castle, which is very ominous of itself, and we end up strolling upon what looks like to be a mummy of Ganondorf at the end of the trailer. And we have a huge flash of memories or sequences in which they end up showing a lot if you slow it down. But at the end, we end up seeing that this Ganondorf mummy or zombie, whatever the hell you want to call it, ends up lighting up. Like, this thing is alive, it is back, it is evil, and it is ready to go. From that teaser alone, it's a whole new shift in mood compared to Breath of the Wild, which honestly could be a really good thing. Breath of the Wild was so successful due to the fact that they went against the norm of the Zelda format, and now they appear to be doing that even more, which, like I said before, can be a huge, massive move on their part. And the lead director of the game has also came out and said that with the sequel, they plan to have it be very reminiscent and even darker than Majora's Mask. And for all of the Zelda fans out there that have played through Majora's Mask, that game was pretty dark when you really looked into it. You go around collecting these masks that literally represent dead people and dead things. You are also trying to save everyone and everything from the literal moon crashing into the earth. The whole game is very dark and ominous, from the scenery to the characters and all the way to the soundtrack. This game is very dark, and for that time, that was something very new, and especially for Zelda, which was kind of this, you're the hero, save the princess, blah 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 type of game. It was your very standard story hero game. But Majora's Mask, they took like a really dark spin on it. When you listen to the characters and what their dialogue actually explains, it's really dark and depressing. It's like literally about the end of the world, it's about suffering, it's literally about like just this terminal ending and never-ending loop. But if they're claiming that the sequel of Breath of the Wild is going to be just as dark and if not darker than Majora's Mask, I think we're in for a serious treat. And I bet you're wondering, why does this mean that the game is going to be even bigger than its predecessor? Well, seeing Zelda take such a dark and twisted turn after its more open world and player-friendly environment, I think will be a very big deal across the board. They also mentioned that they have plans to make a return of temples, which was a huge thing for fans when it came to Breath of the Wild. A lot of people weren't happy without there being temples. I mean, yes, of course we had the divine beasts and all that, but they weren't like your traditional Zelda temples, which I think is one thing that with every Zelda kind of has to stay with it, because even that is something very unique to Zelda. And we don't know if these are going to be like the original temples or more of a hybrid between shrines and temples. I am extremely excited for the Breath of the Wild sequel, and I hope you guys are as well. I just want to make this quick video to kind of explain why I'm so excited for and what the news we have on it so far. I have been seeing a lot of rumors going around saying that it is canceled. That is not true. As far as I know, they are still in development. They just don't tend to release a lot of info on it. Even with the original Breath of the Wild, that game was in development for so long before we actually got like real information. I mean, I remember back for so long, we all knew it as Zelda Wii U, and eventually it became Breath of the Wild, and a lot more information started to slowly leak out. But that game was in development for so long, and I think with this game it'll be a lot sooner. I expect it to be 2021, honestly, because we're going off the Breath of the Wild engine, and it's very similar to Breath of the Wild. They're not making a huge change, but when it came to Breath of the Wild, that was creating a whole new engine. They were getting ready for the Switch, they were just coming out the Wii U. So they definitely went through a lot of different processes when it came to developing that game. They're basically just creating a brand new game on this brand new engine they already have set and ready to go. But I do think that this new Breath of the Wild can learn a lot from feedback. Breath of the Wild, like I said, was a massive game. A lot of people loved it. It did amazing across the board. I loved it. I've played through it about 4 or 5 times now. And honestly, making this video and going through footage, I might play it again. Like, that game has so much replay value, and if the next one does that, it'll be even bigger, like seriously. And especially with the whole new dark turn to it, I think we're going to see a lot of games follow suit on that as well. I mean, we saw a lot of games like Genshin Impact and just a huge variety of games follow Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know, Breath of the Wild came out, and a year or two later we saw a bunch of games that really, they're pretty much like knockoffs of Breath of the Wild. And I think that with this new game and with it taking a darker turn, we're going to see that happen again. I think there's definitely a lot of improvements they need to make. Like I said, there's not a lot to complain about when it comes to Breath of the Wild, but there are certain things that you can improve when it comes, like I said before, to the temples. Have a story that might be a little bit more involving, I don't know. And I overall think there's going to be some serious stuff going on with this game. As we saw before, we see Zelda and Link. There's been rumors and people theorizing that you're going to be able to play as Zelda and Link. Or maybe this is a game based around Zelda. We don't really know. Essentially, it's all up in the air right now. There's not a lot of information. All we know is it is in development. We have that trailer, and that's pretty much all we can go on from this point. I'll make sure to make some more update videos on this game as more news and leaks come out though, so do not worry. There'll definitely be a part 2 of this video, even when more information comes out about the game. But for now, if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like, and if you are new around here, like I said before, please hit the subscribe button, make sure to ring the bell. It helps me out so much. It also helps you guys see the videos as soon as they come out. And yeah, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day or great night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys soon.